Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Purblind Gamer. Thank you for checking out my stream. I'm back in Los Angeles now, and so back on Los Angeles time, and it probably means I'll start streaming a little earlier to accommodate all my friends back home in Virginia. In theory, anyway. And yeah, since I just got back, tonight's kind of a lower tech setup, and also because I'll be continuing scratches and having trouble figuring out how to zoom in on the right parts of the screen and keep a respectable distance from the screen. I'll just be playing it without camera tonight, but you'll still be able to hear me, and I'll still, welcome you into chat and read various diaries of crazy doctors aloud and all that good stuff. Scratches, if you didn't see the first stream of it last week, is this awesome first-person horror adventure from mid-2000s, and no longer available on Steam or GOG, unfortunately. Apparently the only way to get it is either to own the CD, which I do, or buy it from some site called Green Man Games, and I don't know what they are, but they sound sketchy. If you're going to name your website after, dramedy with horror and sex farce elements starring Albert Finney and made by the BBC, then I'm not necessarily going to trust you. Anyway, in Scratches, where we left off, we are a famous horror writer who has moved into a new house, very old house, probably haunted, and proceeded to explore it and find diaries of the previous occupants and mysterious scratching noises at night and all that good stuff. Now, let's dive back into it and see what other mysteries we can solve. Okay, mysteries. This is our first night in the house. We have failed to trace the mysterious scratching noises, and now that they've stopped, we're going to get some shut-eye. Sunday, October 13th. On the second day, a fierce storm had assaulted the land. I could hear the trees creaking or rattling to the lashing of the rain, and I quickly abandoned my hopes of having the power fixed. Oh yeah, the power's out and there are no candles, but fortunately it's, I think it's the 80s, so we've got a typewriter, which we can use to do work, if we want to. I laid my fingers upon the typewriter, but it was unusually cold, and I immediately stopped my desire to write. Writer's block. We've all been there, Michael. Yes, Yes, we also intermittently have problems with this game not registering where we're clicking correctly, which is not the game's fault so much as me running it windowed and using like magnification software for a mouse-controlled game, which it probably wasn't programmed for. At least they let you run it in windowed mode and all that good stuff. Yep, and I did look up a couple of small hints because I was so stuck on a couple of things last time. Whenever we leave this room, the game tells us we have a feeling that we've missed something, and it apparently pertains to the adjustable mirror. Or maybe the non-adjustable mirror. Let's look in the mirror. Another option is to try the tried and true adventure gaming technique of click on everything in the screen until something happens. Hey, a lot of pro gamers use this technique. It's not just me. A lot of paintings in this room. He's giving me some sort of notifications, but it's not the game, that's my computer. And my battery is definitely plugged in. Perhaps we should call this game Tour of Victorian Art Galleries. And by Victorian, I mean anything that looks vaguely old. Romantic novels and history books. I have no interest in those because I'm just trying to find an ending for my story when I'm not being distracted by my house. Yes. A diploma owned by Blackwood, who was the previous owner of this manor. I believe we've... There's something that we can grab, but it won't let us. broken picture of a woman. In a dress. As hoity-toity authors don't want to sort through worthless trinkets when they're trying to solve mysteries, because clearly there could be no clues in there. Yeah. Half the time when you click on something in this room, it talks about the bed, like, it's almost as though there's something sinister about the bed. Isn't that a Wilkie Collins story where the bed was rigged up to kill someone? Or is that movie that... Was it 13 Ghosts? I can't remember. I'm just rambling. This room continues to flummox me. As soon as I left the room, I had a curious feeling of having missed something. Oh, Michael, you're so vague. And the other thing was there was a locked door up here. Which one was it? With the key on the other side. Ah, yes. Thank goodness it's dark. Ah, no, this is the attic room where we found the newspapers and read about how Blackwood, the former owner, was accused of murdering his wife by the maid. Ah, yes, this door. My instincts were right, but you have to use that piece of newspaper, not one of the 500 pieces of newspaper in the attic, to try and get the key out. Adventure game logic. Yay. Oops. And we use the boring tool. After a little effort, I managed to knock down the key with the help of the boring tool. I removed the piece of paper and noticed that the key had gotten stuck behind the door. Whoever said that dumb technique worked. Oh well. Well, they wouldn't want to make the game too easy. Go back downstairs and come back to that key later. Do you think this game strikes a good balance of having a house that's large enough that you feel it's a pretty big game space, but not so big that you get overwhelmed? And the game pretty much all takes place in the house. That'll be Jerry, who was kind enough to find us this house.
Hello?
Michael, how are you doing over there? The sky's falling here.
You mean this storm has hit
That's what
there
Chicken
too?
Little said.
Seems the entire universe is falling here. I'm afraid to go outside.
Well, the better then, as I won't be able to come for you. I'm deeply sorry, but it's seemingly impossible driving to Northumberland. Even less getting anywhere near the manor. I understand many of the roads are closed.
So much for my hopes of seeing Mr. Electrician today, then. Ah, the benefits of being away from society, eh? I should have listened to you.
Don't panic. I'll come right for you, as soon as this thing is over. You just hang on
I
in
wasn't
there.
panicking.
It's not like I have any other choice, do I?
I'm afraid not, my friend. This storm has the power to disturb the dead.
Well, it seemed like this very same
To
storm
disturb
has
the dead.
awakened the evil spirits resting inside my new home.
What's that?
Not sure, but I happened to hear some odd sounds last night. Kind of scratching noises down in the basement.
I do remember the cleaning lady saying something about rats.
Unless we're talking about mutant rats here, I don't think that's the problem.
Michael, my friend, you were tired from a long trip and stressed about the problems you found there. On top of that, you had moved to a very old house. Guess what's the most common complaint from people moving to old houses?
Ghosts on the loose?
I was going to say rats.
Now go focus on your book while you still have enough light. I'll be there as soon as possible.
Thanks. Bye.
Wait, what? Focus on our book. But we don't feel like writing, do we? We want to explore. Oh, right. Also last night we had that nightmare about the African gallery upstairs. About the display case with the tusks being moved and there being something behind it. Here we are. Wouldn't move. Firmly stuck in place. Yes, it was holding two tusks. Very impressive. Let's move it. you could just... What was that? Something... Oh, it's like... Ah, part of it came off, and... I think it's on casters. But Michael won't seem to acknowledge that. I never claimed to be good at adventure games, I merely claimed to enjoy them. Will our notes give us any hints? Mr. Electrician can't come back today. Michael calls him that out of annoyance, and now Jerry's taken to calling him that. Oh wait, these are from yesterday, aren't they? I don't recall seeing something like this. Saying he'll be stranded inside. Something was luring me to a hidden door in the gallery. I should look into that. Just in case it's meaningful. This new turn in my life is getting more and more complicated by the minute. Deep down I know I will survive, but I'm becoming very concerned. There's really not much else. So that's the cellar key. It's a rag. Pencil? Yes. Pencil, pen, house key, stethoscope. And a wrapped in newspaper. Unless gripping it with the rag will help us pull it. No. Let's venture further out, shall we? Wait. Oh, good. There's a factory about another crash. On that note, I may say if we had trouble with it crashing last time, it's really tied to OBS crashing, which I think has something to do with Zoom text. This room again. And I swear, I know it's been a long time since I played this, but I swear there was something in this room with one of the paintings. this curious mirror reflects is part of the bed and part of the ceiling. Perhaps it's a red herring. Trying to check all the paintings systematically, but it... Wait, did the cursor change? Okay, I swear it did. Yes! The old safe behind the painting routine, that's what it was. I wonder if that woman in the painting was the same one as in the broken photograph in the drawer. I didn't know the combination, and safe-cracking certainly isn't my expertise. Jerry, it's me. I'm wondering if you could drive down here with some dynamite. I need to blow open a safe. Michael, you must be joking. I can't drive there with candles, let alone dynamite. Well, a candle wouldn't work, Jerry, because candles aren't explosive, though they do look somewhat similar. Michael, aren't you supposed to be working on your book? I was going to work on my book, but I'm a writer, Jerry. I get distracted all the time. Maybe you should have let me find you a nice flat instead of a old house that hasn't been touched in years and was fully furnished under the National Trust. Yes, well, you were happy enough to take my money when I paid you a commission, Jerry. Michael, you're being unreasonable. Well, that's how a conversation could go. No. You still won't. Still not right. What secrets? What nooks and crannies have we not yet visited? Oops. Can we check the time or something? It's 9 o'clock. Too early for the mail to have gone here, probably. I was thinking we could check and see if we had any mail today. I had uncovered a very tempting safe in the main bedroom behind a fake painting. Its hinges were fairly visible. The family probably used it to store valuables, or at least interesting things there, so I should try to come up with the combination. But how? think I've said it before, but wouldn't it be nice if the combination was just scrawled in blood on one of the walls? Yeah. I could go for that. This stuck beyond hope. We could try looking in the cellar again today, since it seemed like the scratches or scratching noises were coming from down there. The fuse box. Not much hope of us getting that working again. There was a huge furnace covering most of the east wall. I didn't understand why, but I began to feel terribly uneasy. It had a menacing look to it. Then I remembered I'd said that yesterday, and there was really no reason for David to read that aloud. The interior of the furnace was as dark as the mouth of a wolf. In any case, I didn't want to spend too much time near it. Nothing to hear now. Over here. I suppose this would be of much use. Very much not, in fact. A lot of stuff we can't interact with quite yet. What's that? Oh, just a box. I wasn't sure. It looked like there was something sitting on top of the boxes. Oh wait, it just said something and I missed it. Hopefully it wasn't important. I'm trying to trigger it again. Yeah. The storm was raging outside, and I didn't feel like stumbling around in the garden. It's kind of nice. It limits our explorations to the house itself. suppose we could call Barbara. Because we had sent her a letter the other day, an Italian letter, for her to try and translate. She wouldn't have had time to mail it back, get it translated and mail it back to us. And the thing is, we might as well listen in. Okay, so I'm trying to listen into the fireplace and see if there are any scratching noises during the daytime. I don't think there are. Wait, I just got royally turned around. Maybe it was in the living room. Oh well. It wouldn't have been very polite to bother Barbara on a Sunday. I mean, I bothered her on a Saturday. Sometimes Jerry gives us hints.
Hello?
Jerry, it's me.
What's up, Michael?
I found a safe box in the room upstairs.
Right.
Would you happen to know the combination?
I think I should. Let me see.
Ooh.
I have the combination for the safe right here.
Oh, great. Tell me.
03211. Just remember to share it if you bump into any expensive jewelry.
Of course I will. Bye.
Right. Said yesterday we had a deal with Jerry that if he had any, or that we found anything worthwhile in the house, then we would split half the profits with him. Hello again. Frightfully sorry for that. Not quite sure. It was that same sort of bug which it seems to crash Scratches and OBS, and maybe related to my magnification software. I don't know. Sorry about that. Just as we're starting to make some progress, I'll keep going for a little while, see if it happens again, save often, and see if we can make it through the second day of Scratches. It's also frustrating because I have to not just reopen, but to recenter the program in the correct view afterwards. I saved. Had I saved before? Before we found the safe. Okay, fortunately I hadn't made too much progress. I know some things not to do. Go down to the basement, listen to everything with your stethoscope.
Hello?
Jerry, it's me.
What's up, Michael?
I found a safe box in the room
Can we skip it?
upstairs.
I think I should. Let me... I have the... 0...
Of course, that...
Nothing personal, Jerry, but I just heard your cutscene before my game crashed, and I really didn't need to hear you talking about it again. I'm a busy man. Busy putting off my work, that is, of course. Is it? Wait, which door is it? Of course, I went into the wrong room. Here we are then. Oops. Let's see. Dear sir, Mr. James C. Blackwood, from some general contractors. £749. Unless I can't tell what that says. November of 1960. Dear sir, we hereby propose to furnish all equipment, materials, and labor to complete the contract for the construction of a second floor for the Blackwood Manor of Rothbury, Northumberland, in accordance with plans and specifications prepared by Mr. James C. Blackwood, dated October 31st, 1960, for the sum as follows. Since he is, after all, an engineer. That's why he was in Africa. Basic bid, $34,136. I'm not going to read all the alternate bids. We agree to commence work as directed, and to
RD,
complete all work thereafter.
Oh sweet, you are back.
Hey, Havoc. Yes, thank you for coming by. I was, been having some trouble occasionally with stream crashes. Specifically with some games, but I think it's, because of my magnification software. And how are you doing today, Havoc? Special bank account and a phone number. Oh right, and everybody, you should go check out Artyom Havoc. He streams a lot of
Artyom
really
Havoc.
cool games.
I'm doing wonderful. Getting stuff set up for my stream tomorrow. Artyom Havoc. You.
I'm doing alright, thanks. I'm newly back in Los Angeles, getting settled into my space again and tackling streaming, which always seems more difficult than it ought to be. I saw you've been playing some cool games, Havoc, like Chex Quest. I loved Chex Quest back in the day, and I haven't tried out the new iterations of it. I'm hoping it'll get a full 3D remake one of these days.
Artyom Havoc. Yo, congrats on your 10th stream.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, it was
Artyom Havoc. Stream like 5 to 20 were the hardest for me.
Oh, I believe it. It's, kind of when you're starting to figure things out, but not really. And I'm going to save real quick before it crashes again. And I tried to do a fair number of test streams before I started officially streaming, but as soon as I started officially, I found out more bugs or problems or just how difficult it is. I think I asked, how long have you been streaming, Havoc? Just going to... Oh wait, it's Sunday, we can't call the bank. Never mind. Oh wait, no, I remember I did see. Looked like there was a key in that safe as well as those papers. I'll just go nab that.
Artyom Havoc. I streamed Overload Teams League games for a while, but I started my 1-hour project in like February. Then in like July I said fuck it, I'm gonna be a real streamer lol, and it's been snowballing since then.
Oh, that's really awesome. The snowball, eh? I always preferred the Yeti myself. JK. But that's really cool. I'm glad you've been keeping with it so long. That 1-hour stream thing is, ambitious, trying so many different games. And I know it seems like if you're not using the same program, like an emulator or DOSBox, each game poses its own problems when you try and actually stream it. And Overlord Teams League games, is that a MMORPG? The key. Looks like there's some money in there too. A few scattered notes, but...
Artyom Havoc. Oh man, so many problems lol. You know what the worst part is? Every damn day a new tutorial xddd.
Right, like... It seems like every other stream I've got to look up something else. Or it's like, this is how you do it. And I'm also realizing I should probably try and set up a virtual Windows 95 machine to play some of the older games with. It should have realized that when I was back home and had access to a Windows 95 CD and boot disk. Still can't get over how DOSBox is so much easier to use. And what's streaming software?
Overload is a 6 Degrees of Freedom shooter. It's the spiritual successor of Descent from the 90s.
Oh, nice! Ah, Descent was pretty awesome. I played the shareware version of that to death. Never actually beat it. And I think I have like copies of Descent 1 through 3 somewhere. You know, snagged it when Babbage's was clearing stuff out, that sort of thing. But that sounds pretty awesome. I'll have to check that out. And I was curious, what sort of streaming software do you use, Havoc?
Artyom Havoc. Normal OBS, so it's the same program in Linux and Windows.
Oh, cool. That's what I've been using, OBS Studios. But I'm wondering if I should try Streamlabs. Whew. Thank goodness it is the right key. And I tried the, Twitch broadcasting software, but I couldn't get it to work with a lot of games, like limited compatibility for things that aren't mainstream and modern.
Artyom Havoc. Try it. I really didn't like, so I went right back.
Is that the Twitch one or the Streamlabs version of OBS? Unfinished Room seemed to have been used as a storeroom for some sinister
Artyom
paintings.
Slobs.
Okay. I mean, that's not a very nice thing to call the Blackwoods. I'm sure they were normally very neat when they weren't busy adding to their house and disappearing. JK. Whoever painted these pictures was deeply disturbed.
Artyom Havoc. LOL.
It was then that I realized the game I was in was a prequel to Layers of Fear.
Artyom Havoc. Streamlabs OBS. SLOBS.
Right. I have seen that abbreviation. Cans of paint. It's also confusing, like, when you try to do a lot of stuff in OBS Studio, it seems like you need Streamlabs widgets for it. So, even though they're completely separate, I wonder how OBS would manage without Streamlabs. Like, trying to have follow alerts and that sort of thing.
Artyom Havoc. Good point. I use CloudBot.
CloudBot. I'll have to look into that. I mean, I should spend more time trying to figure out what's easiest.
The problem with slobs is that it take all that RAM to run a store in Tay background / Artyom Havoc. Uneasy face.
And while my computer is from mid-2020, I don't know that it has a great deal of RAM.
CloudBot IS Slobspot.
CloudBot IS Slobspot. Thanks. And I may also look into a more versatile text-to-speech engine. Because Zoom Text, which is my magnification software, straight up won't work with Streamlabs or any of the streaming software as far as I can tell. So I've been using, what's it called? Stream, oh, speech chat, right. I see, so these are blueprints. I'm assuming it's one of those things like 5 Days a Stranger. We'll find a secret in the blueprints. Study. Oh, well, now I'm learning the official names. Sad room.
Nariku_hot. Hi, smiley face.
Hello, is it Nariku? Hey, thanks for stopping by. How are you doing? My lovely room. There it is. That's clearly the room that we were having trouble finding before. And oh, my computer's making weird beeping sounds again.
Hey at Nariku_hot.
Yeah, we appreciate you dropping by, Nariku. Hope you're having a good day too. So now we know where the secret room is.
Nariku_hot. I just lost connection. Laughing face.
Oh, that sometimes happens to me too. Glad you're back.
Artyom Havoc. Same, I had to refresh.
Huh. I wonder if it's mine. Or my connection. I know we've periodically had trouble with the Wi-Fi in our house, and the internet company has promised they'd send us some sort of signal extenders for about a year. I mean, this is the 3rd floor, but it looks like all these rooms are accounted for. And they did say it was on the 2nd floor. So that's probably the secret room is what we were looking for.
Nariku_hot. Hard to say. I am not streamer.
Ah. Yeah, streaming takes a while to figure out. I was just watching on Twitch for a long time before I decided to try my hand at streaming. What did I pick up? Oops. The lid of a can. The silver key. Have any of you guys played Scratches before? and it was fairly popular among adventure gamers, kind of back when it was released, revitalizing the genre, but not as many people know about it now. Let me save real quick.
Artyom Havoc. I remember it but never played it.
Yeah, there are so many games like that I remember. I think we got a hammer. And you just always think, I'll get around to that game eventually. And then they keep releasing about
Neriku
30 more
_
each year.
I am not the biggest fun, laughing face, of this type of games, but time to time I like to watch somebody plays it. Neriku _ hot. Fan asterisk.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. Some games I would rather watch someone else play than play myself. And these adventure games can be pretty darn frustrating sometimes when you're playing them. Like, where do I go from here? I wonder who did the paintings. I'm trying to remember if we know much about Mrs. Blackwood, who was supposedly murdered by her husband. I saw another door. Yeah. Rooms upon rooms. And I really like horror games in general. That's if I'd had to say, that's probably the genre I focus on. And a lot of them are adventure games, it seems like. And I feel like with a lot of the action games, it's more that they're horror themed as opposed to actually scary. I mean, not all of them. I suppose some genres more than others. With adventure games, you can have more detailed plots, more creeping dread. Something about a large rope. More food for termites, or whatever little buggers inhabited this part of the house. Yeah. It's, oh, we can climb up the ladder. Yeah, not with the power out. Here's that rope. Some kind of pulley mechanism. I think I remember how I have to access the secret room. So I think I know what to do. Yes! Remembering bits and pieces. Is there anything else in this room? Oh, that's just the light switch again. There's the rope. Oops. I swear we're supposed to get the rope. The game is just being temperamental again. Well, perhaps I'm very much deceived. I assume these are all just bricks, and that's I don't know, carpeting or something? At first I thought it was a roll of paper. This door. Oh wait, this leads us back into the room with the paintings and all. It's difficult to tell what they're sinister paintings of, and whether it relates to the mysterious inhuman African tribe and the terrible mask. I'm assuming it all relates somehow. Is this door just going to lead us back out? Okay, this is the door that was stuck. That's what it is. Oops. No, not quit to save. Where are we bound for? It looks like there is a hidden room on the second floor of the house. Unless the blueprints are wrong, I can't imagine any reason for it, but it's really there. I guess we should try and get into that room. Yes, wait, is that? Remember the layout. Is that where the... what's it called is? The hidden entrance behind the display case on casters? Or is it the other room? Just a painting, but it should be right behind here. If they give me a hammer, I'm going to start like hitting random things with it. That's just... According to the blueprints I found, a door to a room should be in this spot. People smash. Oh. I scratched at the wallpaper, only to reveal a doorway that had been bricked up. I would have spent ages trying to do that. No. Course. Oh, maybe now that maybe I was getting ahead of ourselves when I was trying to pick up that rope. I'm curious, does it look so dark that it's hard to see to you guys, or is it just me? I mean, I know it's supposed to be dark, it's a horror game. nothing.
Artyom Havoc. It's okay. Keytar Cat. Hello.
Hey, Guitar Cat. It's good to have you drop by. How are you doing? Finally. Been trying to pick up that rope for a while.
Keytar Cat. I'm alright. Have a test in the morning and am quite hot.
Ooh. I'm sorry to hear that. Those tests. Oof. One of the things I don't miss about school. But being high hopefully makes it a little better. Here we are. What's your test in, Keytar Cat?
Keytar Cat. I'm more worried about the morning part.
Oh, understood. Is it fairly late for you now? Or is it just that there's a lot of studying to do before the morning?
Keytar Cat. U.S. History CLEP.
U.S. History. Interesting subject. Glad I don't have to take tests in it anymore. The wall had a wider crack now. As I know we have to climb into the boarded up secret room, and I think... Do we tie it here?
Keytar Cat. The wall was already broken.
Yeah. It was already broken, and then I hit it with a hammer, and then it was more already broken. And I suppose there's such a thing as too much already broken. I don't see it from that window. Whatever am I supposed to do? Is the rope here somewhere? Okay, now it's... yeah, that's it. It was hanging on the roof. These windows begin to look the same. All this pondering is making me think I should probably save. Yeah, adventure game, horror, climbing down a rope in a terrible rainstorm from the third story of a house. Yeah, that's a recipe for saving. Why was I obsessed with that room, or whatever occurred inside this house, for that matter? I felt a strong urge to go there, even though I was about to risk my life. I decided that climbing down through the window was the only way to get to the mysterious room, and I resolved to do it. This hanging from roofs of giant mansions reminds me of level 2 in House of the Dead. Oh, I made it in. With the last of my strength, I managed to get inside the mystery room, and mysterious it was indeed. Now we're getting somewhere. It seemed as if someone took extreme measures to forget about the existence of this room for some reason. Mr. Blackwood? Yes. For those of you who missed the first part of the game, Mr. Blackwood was the owner of the house who went to Africa and found some eldritch forgotten tribe and took back some artifacts and was accused of murdering his wife, and then I believe he vanished. And then Dr. Milton, who was a family friend, took over the house, and he went insane, and then he vanished. There's a lot of vanishing going on. It seems as if someone took extreme measures to forget about... Oh, wait. I'd already read that. The creepy wooden horse seemed to be smiling at me. The angel was supposedly guarding the room, but it didn't make me feel any safer. I don't know what angel he's talking about. Is that a... I think it's a girl with a dog. Cradle? That empty cradle inside such a dirty and neglected room made me feel very sad. There. Trying to open the drawers. There we are. Birth certificate. August of 1961. So the names. illegible except for Blackwood and Catherine and James's son. And Dr. Milton, informant. So, I wondered if this member of the family was still around town and would perhaps be able to shed some light upon the past history of this house. I had to find some way of getting in touch with him. Yeah, I'm not sure you'll have good luck with that, considering the circumstances under which you found his birth certificate. Just don't know what they are. Blankets and pillows and such. What's that? Oh, that's the angel. B-I-N. It's got some kind of little symbols in the corner. That's an O. Oh, I think, yeah, they're numbers. So the different letters correspond with numbers in some way. Okay, now let's get out of here. Oh. Think how we can get out of here. Unless we have to go back out the way we came. Well, that seems even more dangerous. Well, we made it. And that's why upper body strength is important. Yeah, notice they never show us the protagonist. He must be pretty buff, because I don't think I could make it down that rope. Never mind up it. check the date in those newspapers. It was August of 61. There. Sad news hit our beloved town today, following an announcement that was received with rejoicing amongst many of the most illustrious members of our community. Mr. James Blackwood was having a child soon. We now have to relate a macabre turn of events. The son that was being lovingly awaited by the Blackwood family died shortly after the delivery due to a strange ailment. Understandably, the information disclosed about the happening was succinct. It appears that Mrs. Catherine Blackwood was already suffering from pains in her stomach, probably an indication that there was something not healthy about her pregnancy. Dr. Christopher Milton, who attended the birth, assured us that he made every possible effort to ensure a safe delivery, but with bowed head he said that the boy was already doomed ever since his conception. The cause of death has not been stated, but those few close to the Blackwood family have said that there were serious complications during the delivery. Helping to relieve that somber news, Mrs. Blackwood was thankfully found to be out of danger. Her husband did not wish to comment about the event. Doesn't seem to be anything else important. Oh, it's that picture of them, which we saw. I think it's the same picture we saw in the bathroom downstairs, like, developed. Or somewhere. A feeling of disappointment quickly gave way to an empty void feeling. Something wasn't right here. I began wondering if James Blackwood was somehow involved with the death of his son. Which, I mean, I can see where he's coming from. It was peculiar. Nope. The nursery was like that. I mean, it could realistically be they were just so grief-stricken they wanted to forget about all traces of the baby. More old junk. You think that? I'm not sure where we found that key, but we haven't used it for anything yet. Wonder, and I may have said this before, like on a previous stream, but I wonder if the Blackwood Manor was named after Algernon Blackwood, who wrote like supernatural and horror stories in the, I think, early 1900s. I know in some of these games they'll have names that are references to the works of various famous authors. this. As it turns out, the hidden room belonged to the son of the Blackwood family. I still can't tell why it was bricked off, but I should try and see if he's still around. He may be the only one that can tell me what happened inside this house. I guess that deep inside myself I knew the reason why, but I had to make sure. The Blackwood son died a long time ago, which is probably the reason why the room was bricked up and left abandoned. The thing that is not clear is whether the child was born dead or died shortly after the delivery. Alright, I guess it didn't say. It just said on the birth certificate it was registered shortly afterwards. I wonder if you have to register a birth certificate if the baby is stillborn. I'm not sure. I can't think that the hammer would be any use in moving that case. Unless we were to pry it up or something. I mean, use it almost as a lever. I clearly had some exploring to do in this room. That was pointless. Nothing is ever easy. Huge carved tusks. Maybe they aren't big. I wonder if they're supposed to be bigger than elephant tusks. What else should I be exploring in this room? Broken lamp. Wait. What's this? Dear James, I'm going to make use of these resting moments to thank you once again for your kindness. Those shields that you have donated to us are wonderful. If it weren't for you, our section donated to African objects wouldn't be anything else other than a mere collection of photographs. Also, I've been looking into these Dalmar you mentioned. I have to say, they seem to be rather fantastic. If it wasn't for your personal account of their activities, I'd dismiss them as old wives' tales. I found a few books mentioning them, and I'd be very happy to lend them to you. They will be mailed at once. I hope you can satisfy your curiosity. Cordially yours, Simon Kissel, Director of a museum. It's 1962. Huh. So after... Was it in the 50s that he was talking about being in Africa? I'm trying to remember now. We've looked at all these artifacts before. Just wondering if we're going to see them in a new light in some way. Okay, so the panel had been concealing a couple of wheels. Have I been clicking on the wrong space this whole time? What do I use upon them? I like how in some games they make like word the textual description of what you're hovering over appear next to the cursor or the object highlight or something. It won't let us move this thing, so are the wheels stuck? Can we roll them out? What's that? Just an old-fashioned oil lamp. Yes. Now, I'm climbing down a rope in a terrible rainstorm, with nothing beneath you except the hard ground. Now that's safe enough, but trying to stick a knife under a wheel? Oh, no. That's how you get hurt around here. What to do? It's just the bathroom. Haven't had a go at writing my book in a while. tapped the keys of the typewriter, trying to focus, but no, the mystery of the Blackwood family was much too exciting to ignore. Suppose I could give Jerry a ring, see if he has any notion of any Blackwood descendants. The phone line seemed to be down. I decided to try again later. Chopper. Surprising amount of choppers flying over this house sometimes. Actually, that might have been a plane, I don't know. In real life, not in the game. Nothing more, just that he can't concentrate. What else is new? Just some can lid. I'm trying to figure out what it's used for. What that key is for. It just... Right, it's just a silver key, but... I'm trying to remember if there's some locked drawer that we weren't able to get into. Could it be? This just... Okay, yeah, that's just Blackwood's account of his time in Africa and the mysterious Dalmar tribe. Everything we've already read. This little table. No such luck. beginning to get stumped, but I don't want to throw in the towel quite yet. You know what, if you guys will give me a moment, I'll look at a walkthrough, just to get me back in the right direction. Won't be half a moment. How on earth?
Artyom Havoc. Back.
And that makes two of us. Hey, Havoc. I was...
Artyom Havoc. Your away screen.
Yes, that's what it
Artyom
was.
Havoc. There we go.
Yes, I had stepped away to look at a walkthrough because I was well and truly stumped. And it's a good thing I did, because I don't think I would have figured this out, and I was also overlooking some important items. Oh, wait. If I lived in this house, I would probably get lost now and then. Well, hello again, chaps. It seems that I had an error while encoding or streaming, but it seems to be working again now. Even though it didn't say my internet connection went down, it must just be significantly weaker here. Technology will be the death of me. And if I run into much more of that trouble, I'll probably just call it a night. It was in. This room. I believe there are important items up here. Wait. And that's the light switch. Hang on. So, I swear, according to my walkthrough, there's something right around here that I have to get. I don't know if this is my computer being troublesome or me missing something important. I wasn't at the top of the ladder. Okay, that one's on me, guys. We've got the oil can and kerosene, which will be useful in our lantern. Egg. I swear it's frustrating because if I'd found this other location, I probably could have figured, well, at least some of this out. There. I poured some motor oil inside the lamp by tilting the can slightly. There was very little of it, though. Useless can of grease. Now the reason we needed that oil is because the display case in the gallery of artifacts won't move because the wheels are stuck and they need to be oiled. Now, did the game give any hint of that? No, why on earth would it do that? That would be insulting to our intelligence. Oh well. At least we'll finally get to see whatever the mystery is that our dreams were trying to guide us towards. Now then. Off. Well, the casters, wheels. I don't know if there's what exactly the difference is between casters and wheels. I just know that we always used to call the small wheels like that casters, and they used to do stagecraft. There we are. Okay. Something here. There may be something here that wasn't here before. The door was heavily barred, and its appearance reminded me of something I had read. I'm not sure what. Something in Milton's diary as he went mad. Hey everybody. Sorry about that. That same display-related bug that crashes OBS and the game. And it was just when something exciting was about to happen too. I don't know, I'll try again. I think we're pretty close to the end of the second day, but if technology keeps battling me like this, I'll just call it a night. I've been streaming for a good couple hours anyway. Happens when things are getting exciting. Well, perhaps not always. It also happens at other times. Just about to open. Finally move that blamed container once and for all by oiling the casters. Now, we see where our dreams have led us. Yeah. Our dreams have led us into darkness. How prophetic. Fortunately, we carry matches with us. Oh. Creepy. An odd-looking African mask was positioned in the middle of the storeroom. Its presence made me feel terribly uneasy. Perhaps that's the mask he mentioned from his Blackwood's writing about the Dalmar. Looks like sword, or some shields and spears in here too. Now there was enough light. I extinguished the lamp to save the oil. Yeah, I guess those things were blocking the light from the window. Oh. Letter. July 3rd. My recent researches on the Dalmar have shed some light upon their terrible activities. I understand now that the lack of existing information about them was not only a cause of their small size and rarity, but also a reluctance, or rather superstitious attitude towards their nature. Even some of the most important historians of South Africa will refuse to mention their name, usually referring to them as the War Tribe. After digging into some of the most obscure books I could find about the subject, I must admit now that reading them made me very nervous and uneasy, bringing back the memory of those horrible acts I witnessed on that day. I can't understand why any human being, uncivilized or not, would behave in such a manner. War among savage tribes is, of course, very common and a recurring theme in history, but the Dalmar, they went even beyond war. Usually a tribe will engage in battle to conquer new territory or perhaps defeat an enemy. They did it for the sole reason of destruction and extreme love of violence. The account of their actions is downright scary. They invade villages, slaughtering every inhabitant without regard for their sex or age. Men, women, children would inevitably perish by their fury and hate, which is, I think, the most unsettling element of their stories. They didn't use any weapons. They killed villagers with their bare hands and teeth, as if they were drawing power from an unearthly source. I find it hard to believe this, and if I hadn't seen them with my own eyes, I'd say they were some kind of wild legend. Once they'd slaughtered every living thing in the village, they'd burn it to the ground, every single construction or possession of the fallen villagers, proof that they definitely were not interested in conquering or even taking some advantage of the terrain. Their motives were moved solely and purely by an incredible despisal of life and hatred towards anything that wasn't from their village. That is another curious thing. They somehow managed to sustain a constant population level as if they controlled exactly the amount of people needed for an attack, but at the same time warrant survival using their few existing resources. I fear this wasn't some kind of wondrous organization system, but rather an elimination process of a useless member or an unnecessary child. I dare not think about it, but I'm afraid this would explain why they didn't need to hunt for food. They feasted upon themselves. Now I know what the mask I took stands for, and I shiver at the thought of it. I must confess I'm worried. I don't know why, but I fear for my life. Some secrets are better left undiscovered. See, there seem to be more sheets there, but none that we can read. Strange that he simply tried to hide it here. Of course, that could have been the doctor's doing. I don't think there's anything else of interest in here. That mask is quite enough, probably. Oh, we're in a closed space now, I see. Oops. Now we know this room's secret. Saving. Still plenty of unanswered questions. If that doesn't inspire me to work on my book, I'm not certain what will. Never used one of these old-style typewriters. I mean, I've barely used a modern typewriter. Suddenly she stopped and stood there, paralyzed, hesitant to give any credit to what her eyes were seeing, and completely unaware of the potentially dangerous situation. Surprisingly, there wasn't anything unusual or strange about the event. Little Kathy was hastily crossing the living room towards the huge oak door, her fancy black dress fluttering at every footstep. As the girl reached the doorknob, she turned to look back at Marion and urged her with a whisper to hurry up. But Marion wasn't seeing Kathy. Her memories haunted her her back and displaced reality, giving room to the nightmarish vision she had spent months trying to forget ever since her first visit to the old house. In her dream, she saw the little girl also wearing a black dress emerging from a passageway hidden in the room. She'd never actually managed to glimpse where the passage was, only saw the girl running towards her, her small face contorted in a horrible grimace. Marion quickly realized it was a twisted version of the Kathy she would know later, as if her figure was then distorted by a veil of smoke. Her exact movements through the room, reaching for the knob, facing her back, those were too many coincidences to ignore. It wasn't a nightmare that she experienced that day, nor a ghost, something she refused to believe in, but was now willing to blindly embrace as the truth, given the shocking vividness of the vision. A ghost would come from the past. What she'd seen came from the... Her thoughts were interrupted as a figure behind her cast a shadow across the doorstep. "You filthy liar! You have betrayed me!" groaned a deep voice. The discoveries I'd made in the house were too exciting to stop now. I thought that maybe I could investigate further today and return to work tomorrow. Well, at least we made some progress on that book. What's this? Why is it that I can't concentrate, crumpling pages like this? I'm getting worse. The whisperings, they're killing me. They cannot be real. They cannot be real. Barred the doorway, but still can hear them in my dreams. How to get rid of it? If it was only that simple, but tearing it apart would force me to admit its otherworldly nature. No, it just can't be possible. I can't allow these thoughts to cross my mind. But I can really hear them so clearly. Have I really lost it? It just can't be that I'm experiencing exactly what James did. It has to be influence. How else to explain that every time I walk past the gallery the whispers grow louder? They're luring me inside. It wants me closer. I can hear them again. Yes, the tortured souls of the fallen now suffering for eternity. A chant next room. I know for sure its source now. I can't fool myself any longer. Are those drums? Oh, please, for Christ's sake, don't let it be drums. I have to document this. I have to keep going, because if James was right, may God have mercy on our souls. Barred the doorway. I wonder what had distressed the writer this much. So I think we were supposed to find that before we uncovered the secret door in the gallery. So it seems that mask was exerting its influence and is what drove Dr. Milton insane. And possibly Blackwood, though we don't know. I think I'll trot downstairs, see if the telephone lines are fixed. They're definitely getting creepier now. when in doubt.
Yes?
Jerry, it's me. You won't believe what I've found here.
Try me.
It's about the happenings that led to the murder you told me about. There's an impressive backstory surrounding this place and many loose ends. It would seem nobody ever stumbled upon this.
Shouldn't you be working on your book?
Are you listening to me? James Blackwood was into some very weird stuff, and possibly dangerous. Something tells me this case is much more complex than it was thought to be.
Why don't you inform the authorities? I'm sure they'll be dying to reopen a long-forgotten case about some crazy old psycho killing his wife.
No way. And miss all the fun? I'm doing this on my own. I wonder if those noises I heard have anything to do with this. Maybe James Blackwood was trying to hide something.
Like in that book, where an old man was guarding the entrance to hell. I bet this James Blackwood person had a doorway like that in his basement. Those dreadful noises must be the sounds
Is
of the
that?
damned coming for you.
Why, thanks, mate. That's been very helpful. Great to have friends like you.
Then stop talking about all this nonsense. Do you have any idea how crazy it sounds? You're a writer, not some fancy PI.
I'll get to the bottom of this. I know I will. I'm certain there's much more to James Blackwood than a simple act of murder.
Now you're sounding more morbid than usual. Simple act of murder? Oh, goody. Just somebody died. Nothing to worry about. This isn't like you, Michael. This whole thing is really affecting you.
Stop being a drama queen. I'm a grown-up and I'm pretty aware of what I'm doing.
Fine. Go chase around the ghosts of James Blackwood. I'll stay here in the real world.
I'll let you know about my progress.
Pretty good dialogue. You notice part of the reason I was stumbling over the some of the writing was I think there were some minor errors in that. I still like these voice actors. I think a couple of lines it would have been helpful if they'd had the full script. See, I don't know. I'm not going to overanalyze that. Let's see, where are we? Talking about the hidden door in the gallery. Yes, that mask is a key to the mystery. I guess I'm done for today. The many adventures I have had, left me very tired, so I'll be heading back to bed earlier today. I had a premonition, though. I think that tomorrow will be the day I make great progress knowing the Blackwood mystery. I just know it. Well, at least we know to go to bed now. There's Michael going on about how tired he is. I'll play this again next Wednesday. I may try to correct a gamma a bit for my own benefit. It could end now, but since we seem to be on the verge of nighttime, and nighttime is the time of things horrific, let's see what nightmares I can leave you with tonight. I laid down on the bed, Something didn't feel right.
Artyom Havoc. I'm gonna call it a night myself in about 30.
Oh, nice. I appreciate you sticking around, Havoc. I'm getting pretty tired. I think this, if there's anything like the previous nighttime portion, it won't be too long, and will be a good place to end on. There. See if we hear the scratches in our fireplace. Go further down. I swear it actually seems brighter now in the dead of night than it did during the daytime. Part of the house's horror is that we warp back upstairs. Which fireplace had the noise the loudest last night? Couldn't hear anything out of the ordinary. It's nighttime, isn't it? I'm going to proceed down to the cellar. Because tonight we have the oil lamp, which we didn't last night. Thwarted. I suppose the other thing we could do is check out the mask at midnight. Which actually makes more sense, come to think of it. Because last night we had a nightmare first, and then we woke up to the scratchings. night. This may be a nightmare. So dark. Wait, is the... I can barely see the mask. Wait, I think the mask is gone. I think that's just the stand. Yep. I had a feeling there'd be a bit of a jump scare there. Once again, I was awakened during a bizarre dream by those scratching noises. This time, I'll get to the bottom of it. Confirming. They come from the fireplaces. Can't hear anything from here. I believe that was how it was last night. I could hear it from one fireplace, not the other. Yep. That's where they're coming from, all right. atmospheric lighting. I can hear it very faintly. Louder. Yeah, and it seems quieter now. Oh, but it's definitely louder. I don't think I'd be brave enough to crawl in there. There's something. Is it like a barred window? There's something alive in this house, and I'm getting out of here. There was no way I would enter that furnace again. With my heart pounding, I barely gathered the strength to leave the basement. The last drop of oil inside the lamp had been consumed. I definitely won't be going back there at night again. I was too confused to think straight and decided, almost against my will, to return to bed. It is late at night indeed. So to rest. I went back to bed. Monday, October 14th. My third and final day inside Blackwood Manor began with an odd feeling of expectation. Still shaken about the occurrence of last night, I managed to pull myself together and focus on finding out what really happened inside this place. And I think that is an excellent place for us to end. After saving, of course.
Artyom Havoc. Have a good night, friend.
Yes, thank you so much, Havoc. I hope you do too. I'll just quit real quick and then hopefully we can raid someone. So I wrap up. Well, I appreciate everybody who came by and who stayed. And hopefully you enjoyed Scratches and found it suitably terrifying. I will hopefully figure out what some of these peculiar problems are that are resulting in technical difficulties and crashing. And I know I'll be streaming again this weekend. Oh gosh, it's my birthday. Well, I might do a bonus stream Saturday, but I'll definitely be streaming on Sunday. And then probably finish Scratches next Wednesday.
Artyom Havoc. Happy early birthday.
Oh, thanks, Havoc. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is Saturday is my birthday, so I may do some short stream for that. If everybody could hang out and raid, a good friend of mine, Tay Ray's Cray, is actually having her birthday stream tonight. So if we could all, don't know how to do raid calls, but
Artyom Havoc. Cool. Purblind Gamer. Raid call. Happy birthday, Tay.
I don't think I was supposed to say that. But if everybody could just copy that and stick around and say hi to her while we raid, I think she'd really, really enjoy that. And she's a variety streamer, been playing The Witcher 3 recently. Yeah. But thank you again to everybody for coming to check out my stream. I am Purblind Gamer, variety streamer who does a lot of retro and horror. And I hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see you again this weekend.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my god, look at all those chickens. Pureblood, thank you so much for the host. Thank you so much. Hi Artyom, how are you? Thank you so much, Pureblind. Ooh, what Scratches? You have to tell me about that. Thank you so much. I'm happy to see all the support you're getting here and hope things continue to get better for you for the rest of this year and beyond. Thank you. Will! Happy birthday, Tay. I can't believe it's been nearly a year since I first met you and somehow only half a year since we've been actually properly known one another. This last year was incredibly rough for you. We are also proud of you for pulling through it, making it